Hi everyone, it's good to be back again. This is the third in the videos of solving trig equations. On the first one we made them all simple ones. Now we're still simple, just a little bit further in our thinking. We're looking at what angles in cos will give us an answer of a half. What angles for cos will give us an answer of a half. So if we go over to the graph over here, I want the graph to be a half. So if I come up here, there's a half. If I go across from the half to there, I come down to here and I get an answer of 60 degrees. So if I go up to a half and I say what was the angle that gave me a cos of a half at 60 degrees, I can then keep going across to this one over here. And now this one will be 300 degrees. So I've got two answers. Now let's go back to this system. This is just a way of memorising that. So the two answers I want are 60 and 300. Of course I can keep going and get more and more answers and just adding 360. So if I add 360 to that, my next answer would be 420. I could go further on this graph and show you 420. If I add 360 to that one, I get 660. It goes on forever upwards. And actually goes on forever back this way. But we're mainly looking at these two answers just here. Let's have a look at it. I want the cos to be a half. So if I go back to this triangle, we know that this, hopefully you memorise or just remember the triangle. If it's 30 degrees, there's the 1, there's the 2, there's the opposite, and there's the hypotenuse. Using Pythagoras, that would be root 3. So if this is 30 degrees, this angle, because of the right angle, has to be 60 degrees. So I want a cos that's a half. So if there's the half, if I'm talking about cos, the cos of 60 is the adjacent on the hypotenuse. So there's our adjacent on the hypotenuse. And we're starting from here. So the cos of 60 is a half. Go back to the graph. The cos of 60 is a half. Now it's in reverse. How would we get a half? We get the cos of 60. So I go over to here, I'm wanting cos to be positive. So if I go over to this diagram here, everything's positive there. Make it realistic. There's 60 degrees, so there's the 60 degrees counting in that direction. If I go to this one here, cos would be negative. This one here, tan's positive, so cos would be negative. So the C stands for cos is positive. So I do my 60 degrees there, just like before. If I go around the circle, I'm up to 90, 180, 270. This one would be 300 degrees. The way I teach it all the time though, is these are like aeroplane wings flapping. So we're talking about those angles, we're never talking about those angles. It's these ones here. I do refer to those as aeroplane wings, as I've said. I do talk about them being happy clappers. So it's these ones, not those ones. So we're saying 60 degrees up from 0 and 60 degrees down from 360. In other words, how far is 300 from 360? And the answer is 60. So there's our two angles there. That this one is 360 take 60, and you got that answer, 300 degrees. Let's go for a sine, but this time we're going to go a step further. We've got a negative half. So if I go over to this graph, where is a sine graph negative a half? So I can go to negative half and I can come across the graph. And I go, there it is there, at 210 degrees. And they go across to here as well. I can go up to there, and I can go, there it is, also, at 330 degrees. By the way, you might notice that's 30 degrees from 180. And that's 30 degrees from 360. So this is why I'm talking about always from 180 and 360, or from 0. So, interesting part for this negative is ignore it. So the sine of what is a half, hopefully you've already memorised that the sine of 30 is a half. So we're talking, this is all about 30 degrees. So if I go over to this diagram again, and I do another one of those, so there's 90, there's 180, there's 270, and there's 360 again. All stations are central. We want a sign that gives us a negative answer. This is where sine will be positive. This is where sine will be positive. So we're wanting two answers down here. We're talking about 30 degrees. So we're going to go 30 degrees from 180, which is 210, which is that one there. Then we're going to go 30 degrees from 360, which is 330, which is that one there. So you just got to be careful of the negatives, that you basically ignore the negative, and then you look at which quadrant does it fall in. If you want to think this way, it's okay, it works as well. But I found over the years that most people prefer this one, and in the end it gets quicker, but I do default back to that if I have a problem. Thanks.